this is the beginning of something huge for the Padres. We got to talk about what Mike Shildt has been saying. He's been making a lot of headlines the last couple of days as the Padres have been taking on the Dodgers. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning into the show where I, a random dude on the internet, whine, opine, over and underreact about all things San Diego Padres this season. We got to talk about Mike Shildt and everything going on, but before we get there, if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. It is not obligatory. We will never charge for any of this content, so no worries about all that. I want to talk some Mike Shildt. This is actually from 2 games ago, but this combined with his arguing with Dave Roberts at the end of the second Dodgers game, and in totality, just want to talk about what he is saying and why we got to pay attention to this next stretch, I think, more than any in the San Diego season. This was post-game, game 2 of this series, talking about post the Dodgers, that he believes, and obviously he is going to believe in the Padres, and I want to get it very clear that I am not a propaganda machine. I'm not paid by the Padres. I sometimes try to. I am often accused of being overly dramatic and a bit of a doomist, an alarmist, a negative Nancy, whatever you want to say. So I'm trying to look at this more positively. And the truth is obviously somewhere in the middle. But what he says in this interview post-game after Game 2 is that he believes the Padres can win the next up to 7 series. Was what he said, the next, he says in the exact quote, next 5, 6, 7 series. So I just thought we should take a look post the heavyweight fight of the Los Angeles Dodgers and everything going on with the San Diego Padres, and just kind of see where we're at and see if that's even possible, or get some feedback from you guys on what you think is possible for the San Diego Padres in that stretch. Let's talk about just a quick table setter for where we are at after the series with the Dodgers. The Padres are 5 games back of first place in the National League West. The Padres, if the season ended today, would be a wild card team, but I get that that's also not, that's not an exact. Let's just talk about the NL West for right now and where we're at and where the Padres are going, because they are not going to now see the Dodgers for a couple of months, and they actually don't see a ton of the NL West for the next iteration of the season. Let's call it the next, few weeks at least. And I think that puts us in an interesting spot. So Shildt saying and rattling off all these series. Obviously, he's going to say that. Obviously, he's going to want us to win. Let's talk about it, though. First, we've got the Royals. And Andrew, my co-host, has done tons of specific game dives. I'm not going to really get us too into this matchup versus that matchup or what I like. Let's go more gut feeling reaction off of that. I'm down with the Royals being a winnable series. You can see following that, the Washington Nationals are taking on the San Diego Padres in San Diego. I think, again, okay, cool. Winnable series. That's 2 winnable series in a row. Like that. Okay, so far I'm with Mike Shildt on this. This is where it gets a little bit harder for me, is that after that we've got the Reds. I think the Reds are good, but I think are, again, beatable. Then we run into the Phillies. And that's the next 4 series. Past the Phillies, we get into, again, playing the Diamondbacks, and also at that point, like I think maybe past 4 series, we're also talking about maybe Darvish is back, Cease, King. Baseball sometimes just gets too many hypothetical variables. So I just like looking at those next 4. 3 of those 4 very winnable. The 4th of those being the Phillies, to me, is another good litmus test. The Phillies have specifically been murderers of the San Diego Padres in the postseason the last couple of years. And whether or not they are having their best year ever or their worst year ever, I think they are still a team that is a worthy challenge. I think Giants, Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Mets, Phillies, to me, are the ones kind of hovering in the permutation of the Padres for all of these playoff spots. So I will be curious. I think that those next 3 games, I don't see why we can't build up some momentum. I think that you guys obviously drop a comment on where you think the pitching staff the hitting, the all of this is at, because we've seen Xander Bogaerts for the last 5 at-bats start to catch fire. And if he comes back and Merrill comes back and the team is hitting and if we win 3, 4, say we, instead of winning the next 7 series, say we win 5 of the next 7 series, where does that put us at for the NL West? Obviously Giants and Dodgers are good teams. They are ahead of us right now. We have the direct 1-to-1 comp that we lost to the Dodgers so far most of the games this season. I get it. Like, we're going to still have to play some catch up, but I think winning a good amount of those next series does keep us in the hunt in an interesting way that, to me, one of 2 things is going to happen. Superstars are going to elevate and aggregate, and we're going to wind up realizing the forest from the trees and think, like, okay, we actually do have a good team. We might not have the best team, but we have a team that has a puncher's chance in any win 4 out of 7 type of scenario. Or we're going to have a team where ultimately, like, it just was, like, Xander ended up hitting 215. Merrill was never fully healthy all season. Yada, yada, yada. Like, we never got a left fielder. We never got a catcher. Like, one of those 2 teams is going to happen. But I kind of think that after the tough stretch we've been in the last couple of weeks, with a couple of guys still on the IL who need to bounce back, this is a perfect little lull in the season with 1 or 2 tests at the end of that lull for the boys to get hot, for them to feel a little fire. We saw Shildt out there arguing, and that's not an X's and O's thing. That's a mentality thing. But I like to see our guy who is getting questioned sometimes, rightfully or wrongfully, about bullpen management and decision-making on substitutions that he's using and whatever is going on behind the scenes. We don't really ever know. So I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that Mike Shildt getting the boys fired up, saying things publicly, trying to instill the confidence of, hey, we are still a really good Major League Baseball team, could result in some pretty momentum-saving series wins. Because he's not even saying we're going to rattle off 30 straight dubs. It's 2 out of 3 here. It's 2 out of 3 there. It's 2 out of 3 there. And that's kind of what you need sometimes to just get everybody back in that rhythm, back in that routine of, okay, we're going to get all of our numbers kind of in that sweet spot where it aggregates and spreads out, and you look back and you're like, okay, over that last 30-game span, the Padres trended upwards, are still within 3 or 4 of first place. Then we go back into the Dodgers and we can lose and everything could end up poorly. But I think that this is going to be a really fun stretch to watch, because coming out of LA, Mike Shildt's fired up. I think the team is appropriately also fired up. So I hope that those 2 wavelengths match and things end up going really, really well for the Padres. Obviously, I hope it. Poor play does not help our aggregate ratings and viewership. So obviously, I'm a shill for the team, for wanting this team to win. You let me know, though, what you think in the comments section. Is Mike Shildt crazy for saying this? Is he on point for saying this? Do you like him? Do you love him? Do you hate him? Do you want to see somebody else in the manager position? Let us know in the comment section. And like I said, if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. But if not, no worries. We'll talk to you guys in just a bit, Padres fans.